But here we go. The lower semifinals are upon us. And we have our last remaining Terran player left here. Here we go, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Gressfarm. We have the red Terran player representing Psystorm Gaming. It is Nicoract. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Gressfarm, we have the last remaining player from the ESL Asia region, the best player in all of Taiwan, representing Starlight Twinkle. It is Nice. I'm trying to set up the predictions. There we go. Predictions are now open. Upon hearing this message, you have 2 minutes to place your bets on who you believe will be the second finalist to meet Cristiano in the grand finals of Sparkling Tuna Cup number 30. Is it going to be the Taiwanese Protoss or the Red Terran? We're here to find out. Let us go. And we're casting a game and it's not a PvP. Let's go, Papi. Let's go. Some variety. Vámonos, Papi. Vámonos. We do have to cherish this while we can. Again, Nice took down Night Phoenix 2-1. Likewise, Nicoract took down Oriana 2-1 as well to make it this far. So both players were shown to bleed a little bit. They had some pretty intense quarterfinals matches. But now they're here in the semis, and we'll see what they have to offer. They both want more. They both want to go all the way and potentially become Sparkling Tuna Cup champions for the first time. See if they can get there, as Nicoract is going to be going for a Rax Expand setup. Very economic opener here from Nicoract. Quite greedy as well, actually. I don't know if you noticed, but Nicoract did avoid the SCV Scout. Nicoract also skipped the first Reaper as well and went Marine first. So with this, Nicoract is obviously sacrificing Scouting. He has no idea what Nice is up to across the map. And he's also going to be preserving his gas as well to get into a faster, faster tech overall. Oh, and we have a pretty interesting setup here. Very interesting indeed, as Nicoract throws down a second Rax, and we can throw down a third Rax as well to go into a 3 Rax. We've also seen a rise in popularity of 2-1-1s in TVP. We have seen it quite often over the past couple of months, but there it is. There is that third Rax from Nicoract. Going to be very aggressive here, going to be hitting with Stim and Combat Shields. Mass Marine. Likewise, this is a build that fell out of fashion and was quite unpopular for almost all of last year. But before that, it was very meta a couple of seasons ago. It's great to see it return, as it's been quite a while since we've seen it. And if I'm not mistaken, 3 Raxes ideally go up against Stargate openers, and that's exactly what we're seeing. We have a Stargate opener into an Oracle first. So Nice is going to be looking to try and do some economic damage across the map. And this means that there's no Blink, there's no Twilight Council. It means that the Stalker count overall from Nice is going to be lower as well, which will mean that when this army does move out across the map, Nice is going to have a hard time slowing it down. Meanwhile, there is that Twilight Council. Only 1 Oracle. We're not going to be going into Phoenixes, which is a good thing for Nice. If he invested too heavily into Phoenixes, again, like 4 to 5 Phoenixes aren't going to do anything in the face of 20 Marines. So again, thankfully, with very limited information, Nice doesn't invest into any kind of heavy Phoenix production. Not really what he's going for. First Oracle is going to be dipping into the main base, sorry, into the mineral line. It's a couple of probe kills. SCV kills even. And with that revelation, Nicoract is now aware that it was a Stargate opener, which means he knows that Blink should be delayed. I mean, the Adepts are also a little bit of a tell in that respect. Oracle dips into the main base, catches some of these Marines. Good pickups here. Any Marine that goes down this early on is going to slow down or is going to weaken the overall push, as the Oracle is very battered, very bruised. The other important thing is that Nice sees all the production. He's now fully aware of the 3 Racks. and it should be preparing back at home. We have our third base on the way. We should be getting some static defense, some shield batteries. More importantly, we need stalkers. We need as many stalkers as possible, and we need to be active with them as well, as Nicoract is already moving out. Oh, but the Adepts do commit to the shade. There are only a handful of Marines waiting for them back at home. Stim and combat shields and +1, it's still not done. And the Adepts are having their way with these SCVs. Meanwhile, Nicoract is committed. What is he pushing into? Blink is still not done, but we do have 5 Stalkers, about to have 9 Stalkers in position. I don't know if Nicoract really likes what he sees. Goes for a scan, gets eyes on the third base as well. I feel like we need to turn around. Here we go. We stim on forward, but Blink is revealed, and Nicoract has to get the hell out of here. Now, Nicoract isn't in the best position, but he's not in the worst position either. Like, thankfully, he is preserving the majority of his Marines. He lost 7 Marines, but a lot of them were to the Oracle earlier. Oh, and yeah, we don't want to be taking that fight. A couple more Marines are going to get shaved off. Every single stim hurts. We don't have any medevacs. Goes for a second stim as well. Oh, good. He gets an Oracle. Not bad. Not bad. But his army is very, very hurt. And Nice is aware of that. He wants to try to force another stim. There we go. He does force that stim. We do blink away, and Nicoract's army is... It's on the brink of death right now. It does get 2 more Stalkers. Again, Nicoract has to get out of here as Nice reinforces, and he wants to force another stim. He wants it, Poppy. He wants it. And he's going to get it. 4 Marauders go down. The Marines as well, they get 2 shot at this point. Nicoract just being a little bit too aggressive, but at the same time, like, what else could he do? Nice, just abusing this with pure Blink Stalker. And back at home, we're transitioning into +1 charge. Our third base is getting fully saturated. Nicoract, he's now in a lot of trouble. Now, earlier I was about to say that, hey, like, even though he's pushed into a lot of damage, if he turns back around and if he keeps his Marines alive, he can go for a stronger timing with medevacs. But if we look at the units lost tab, he lost 25 Marines. He lost basically his entire army. Yeah, now Nicoract is all in. We have to pull the boys. There's no other way about it. We can't transition from here. Now, thankfully, there's not a lot of splash damage. There's no Colossi, there are no Archons, but there are soon to be charge lots. As charge is done, there we go. A couple of them are being warped in. Nicoract, he's got to go, Papi. He's got to go. Killing the third also won't be enough. He has to break the natural. But that's where there's a stasis trap. Oh no! Oh, stasis trap goes off. Half the Marines do get caught in it, and that may just be it. Nicoract only fighting with half of his army. A juicy stasis trap. The Stalkers blink on forward. We have Zelds coming in behind this. Nice, have to be careful not to overextend, but he killed 15 SCVs. Yeah, we're going to chase this all the way back here. GG gets called, and Nice will take game number 1. Ooh, GG. A really solid response and reaction from Nice after scouting the overall build, after scouting the 3 racks. Likewise, something that I've seen Cure do is that if Cure, to be fair, this is typically when he's up against players like Classic and Hero. If Cure gets his 3 racks scouted, he doesn't push out. If Cure gets scouted, he doesn't he will preserve his Marines, and he'll just go for a later timing. He will start his transition into medevacs, into the rest of his upgrades, and just preserve his army, because he knows that because he got scouted, the likelihood of his push doing any damage is very low. You know, he assumes his opponent is good enough to be able to react and respond accordingly. So instead, he just transitions. Whereas here, Nicoract still wanted to find some damage, still was hoping that maybe Nice wouldn't be ready for it, maybe he wouldn't have had enough time to react, and wanted to assert himself on the map. And in the end, that did hurt him. That killed him. See, I fell out of that meta. We see it all the time in Masters. True, Bobby, true. Fell out of the meta in pro play, I should say. I don't know if you remember this, but it was in the era of Hardwire. So what was that, 2 seasons ago? Not just Hardwire. What was the other map? It was a gray map. It'll come back to me. But back then, it was very, very prominent in PvT. Every series, mate, every series. But here we go. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of Altitude, we have our red Terran player representing Storm Gaming. It is Nicoract. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Altitude, we have his opponent. We have the Taiwanese Protoss player, the best player in all of Taiwan, representing Starlight Twinkle. It is Nice. Interesting vetoes, I'll be honest. I was not expecting map 2 to be on Altitude. This is a very large map. As a result, it can be very difficult to defend your kind of fringe bases as well. And yeah, I would say that it's maybe arguably easier to get into Stargate, into Phoenix Colossus. So I'm curious to see what the plan is going to be here for Nicoract. When it comes to a 3-racks, I don't expect to be seeing that again, especially on Altitude, because the rush distance by ground is so large, it's so long. It wouldn't really make too much sense to go for that specific build on this map. As this time, Nicoract is SCV scouting. Let's go. SCV is moving out across the map. Is going to be confirming the opener as well. Does spot the pylons, does see the Nexus as well. So Nicoract just making sure that he's not going to be getting cheesed or anything like that. And I think that's fair on Altitude, just because Nice has a map advantage, and this map is so large that something like Proxy Stargate is not out of the realm of possibility here on this map. Not a bad map for proxies. As back at home, Nicoract once again goes for a Rax Expand, and behind it is going straight into his factory. So yeah, this time no 2-1-1, no 3 racks, nothing like that. As Reaper is able to get the follow-up scout and even confirms the opening tech as well, is aware of the Stargate, which again is to be expected on Altitude. I wouldn't be surprised if this time Nice does invest a little bit heavier into Phoenixes, but we'll see. I know that just because Phoenix Colossus is all the craze nowadays in PvT, Nice, he doesn't necessarily conform to the meta all the time. You know, that's what's so great about him. You know, he can be so aggressive, so in your face as well. He just plays how he likes. And speaking of, once again, we have that Oracle opener. Not Phoenix. First Oracle is going to be zooming across the map. Meanwhile, back at home, Nicoract. Interesting. Very interesting. We don't have an add-on swap, so he actually continues marine production, so we're not getting into a Widowmine drop or anything like that. We don't have any Hellions either. Just going to be playing this out safe, going for that Cyclone. And maybe even a Viking as well if we're a little bit more paranoid about Phoenixes. Reaper does dive back in, does confirm a second Oracle on the way. And after he gets that confirmation, we do start up that Viking. Well, as the first Oracle is finding a hard time dealing damage, we get one SCV, but then we get the lock-on! Up! Up! Oh, and some mispathing as well. The Oracle does go down. Good catch here by Nicoract. Oh, but Nice isn't stopping. He's making a third Oracle. We have a third Oracle on the way. Aye, aye, aye. Just double down. The second Oracle is diving into the main, but again, the Cyclone is in position. Nice isn't able to do too much damage. And so far, this opener from Nicoract is quite solid. Quite solid indeed. But our Viking on the hunt as well does barely miss that Oracle, but is able to get eyes on the third base. Behind this, Nice is commencing Phoenix production. And with those Phoenixes, it's going to be looking to maintain map control. Yeah, we have... actually, excuse me? Oh my god, this is a... Yo. Did we get back in? We didn't see it. We didn't see it, Papi. We almost did. The Reaper comes back in to try to get another scat off. Nice is not stopping Oracle production, by the way. And this is what I love from Nice. Even though in his region, Nice and Haas, they were kind of polar opposites. You know, like Nice was the more standard player, Haas was the crazy, cheesy player. But over the years, as Nice became the best player in Taiwan and superseded and kind of like took the throne from Haas, he has been a little bit more aggressive every now and then. And yeah, to commit this heavily into Oracles and Adepts, this is very hero-esque. He's looking to try and dive on top of these tanks, lift them up, and just try and rush into the natural. But now it goes for the Revelations. He's going to be threatening with those shades. We don't have stim. We don't have combat shields. There we go. We commit to the shade. Without the support of the Phoenixes, this is a little bit mistimed. The Adepts do all go down, and so do the Oracles. This has kind of fallen on his face. Nice, I could see the logic, but I don't think even he intended to commit to that shade. Like, his Oracles and Phoenixes weren't ready at all. Oh. And just like that, Nice, everything that he's been building up towards is gone. He lost 4 Oracles. He lost all of his Adepts. What did he really get for that? He got a Cyclone and a Viking. That's it. A bit of a blunder coming out from Nice, and now Nicoract's position is going to be that much stronger. These Phoenixes are doing what they can, but there are only 2 of them. They're going to be able to slow down the third CC, but only for a couple of seconds. Here we go. Nicoract is going to be moving out, and I do love this from Nicoract. I mean, he just killed all the Adepts. He killed all the Oracles as well. There are only a handful of Phoenixes. I mean, sure, the Phoenix is going to be threatening the Raven, at least. But for the most part, Nicoract's army should be fine. Thankfully for Nice, he's able to find some damage. He gets a couple of SCVs. But Nicoract is on the move. He goes for the scan. He sees the Zealots charge. Is going to finish up in 10 seconds. It will be ready for this. Do we get the anti-armor missile? It looks like we will, but it connects with the Marines as well. Oh, the Zealots just dive on top of everything, and Nicoract is forced to lift up. Up, the mines. Mine shots will go off a little bit of friendly fire, but does connect with those Phoenixes. Oh, it looks like Nicoract will just lose too much, though. The friendly fire on the Marines was actually pretty insane. G gets called. GG, Nice with the counterattack, swallows up the army, and will take the series 2-0. Oh, GG. Oh. GG, well played. Even though Nicoract had a solid defense, even though he had a third CC on the way, the mines weren't ideal. The anti-armor missile also just covered his own army as well. Like, the execution of that push wasn't quite what it needed to be, and because it went so poorly, things snowballed very heavily in Nice's favor. GG, well played. Nice moves on to the grand finals, where he's going to be facing Cristiano. Oh, GG. Look, I'm a Zerg player, but my heart bleeds a little bit there for Nicoract. Because the start was so good for him. Remember, he killed the first Oracle without the Oracle doing anything. The Oracle got like 1 SCV, if that, and that is it. And the follow-up as well fell on its face. So it was such a good start for Nicoract. And I'm sure like his blood was pumping. I'm sure like he had his adrenaline going, and then everything just went south so quickly. GG. GG, well played. With that, we move on to the grand finals, to our PvP.